Oh, so tired this morning. Just woke up. And one person is watching me. Good morning, one person. Looks like Newcomb Finance is getting 149 people watching him. And most of the people are probably sleeping. Let's see. Yeah, no, I have one, and he has 222 people. Big difference. Let's go into his stream while we're streaming our stream.
Mixed up. So you can see, look at these deliveries. Q2, they did so much better than 2019. And their Q1 is actually, they deliver less vehicles in quarter one of earlier this year compared to 2019. So that's actually not good, but that's a huge blowout sale right here. They did about over triple or close to triple amounts of the same quarter last year. So that's actually good news for NIO. So vehicle sales were 493.4 million. Second quarter represented an increase of 146.5% second quarter 2019, an increase of 177.6% first quarter 22. Vehicle margins 9.7. Gross revenues. Operating loss. Here we go. This is what's important because everyone knows NIO has a huge cash burn rate and they always have to keep raising capital and get big loans from all these Chinese banks. So it's definitely backed by the Chinese government. Loss from operation was 164.2 million in second quarter 2020, representing a decrease of 64% from second quarter 2019. That's huge. They were able to reduce their operating expense by 64% in a year, and a 26% decrease of first quarter 2020. That's actually good. Man, these are good numbers for NIO. They're able to really cut down the operating expense. So the big thing that we were worried as investors is that they're burning so much cash, and now that they're actually starting to get that a lot better. So credits to NIO for not needing to raise capital as much. They keep this burn rate down. Net loss was 166.5 million. Second quarter represented a decrease of 64%. So that means they're still losing money. Pretty bad, but it's still a good decrease. Net loss, here we go. Second quarter. Okay. Vehicle sales. Margin, gross revenue, gross profit, gross margin.
I don't know. It feels like I shouldn't even talk because there's only like 2 people watching me. Kind of feel like I woke up to waste my time. But earnings weren't like horrible. That's what I think. I mean, gross margin reached 8.4%. That's better than negative gross margin. I'll be honest with you. Does it deserve $16.8 billion market cap? No. But that's the reality right now. It's a almost $17 billion market cap. Deliveries. of Q2 is 10,000. 10,000 cars. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't seem like very much, but hey, whatever. 10,000 cars. Take it, leave it, whatever. Big money ultimately pushes stocks up anyways. Doesn't matter what numbers are. The number could have been like awesome and the stock could have tanked anyways. But, big money decided to push stocks up this morning. I have not too much. Oh, 3 people are watching me right now. That's good. Thanks for the like. Thanks for the 1 like. What? We recommend that you use auto. Do you change your name to Angel Investor? Yes, I changed my name into Angel Investor. Why? Because I feel like if you invest into these companies like NEO, you're basically an angel investor, especially if you bought in back when it was $2 or $3 when the company was looking like it was gonna go bankrupt. And right now, I think it's still a big gamble because it's being pumped up by rich people, and it can easily pull back when the stock market crashes. That's in my opinion, anyways. Who knows? Maybe I'll just keep running, and I'm wrong. And even if the stock market crash, they'll never pull back. Yeah, I wish I bought some call options. Should did, but I didn't because I thought there was a chance that it could crash. Let's look at Workhorse. Workhorse is up. DPHC. Diamond Peak Holding is also up a little bit. Solo. Some of the EV plays here. Solo is neutral. Candy's up 12 cents. I gotta go to the, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna play his stream let's just play the stream.
Operating loss. Here we go. This is what's important because now NEO seems like follow the same rules and regulations as American companies. So, for example, I'm not saying NEO does corruptions or scamming, but we know Luckin Coffee definitely fake their numbers. But I don't think NEO would fake their numbers. You know how it's funny? Like, you guys were so quiet while I was going through all this, and then when I said, "Hey, is chat working?" You guys are now talking to each other like crazy. Funny. All right, we got 9 minutes before the earnings, so that's awesome. All right, we'll put on some music. Newcomb, this is great. They made a deal with the biggest batteries in China. They did. Hey, hey guys, I appreciate you guys being here. Right now, I woke up at 4 a.m. to live stream this. Right now it's 4:50, so about 9 minutes till NEO starts their call. I appreciate if you guys have like $1 to $5 to spare. If you guys can donate super chat, I appreciate it. I'll give you guys a shout out. And feel free to toss $1 for NEO stock. Here we go. Got a little bit of music there. NEO's gonna be pumped today hard. I don't know if NEO's gonna be a pump today. I think the stock's just gonna blow up since they had huge earnings. They're profitable first time in history. They were able to keep their cash rate, burn rate down a lot. We'll see. Overall, I'm just very impressed with NEO right now. I did not expect them to like destroy numbers this crazy. I mean, look at this. I don't think the pre-market's not open, right? pre-market's not open right now. I don't think the pre-market's open right now, but you can see. Yeah, this is after hours. Yesterday.
I have no idea what he's talking about, but pre-market is open. You can see it's up $1.33, 9.93%. So yeah, it is open right now. Let's see how many. 8 people watching me. Oh wait, 6 people. I don't know, 5 people are watching me. Do I think it will hit 1650? No, I don't know. It depends on the earnings call. I mean, if they talk positively and sweet talk all the investors, maybe that's a possibility. What do you think of Kron? Do you think of buying it at these prices? No, I'm not touching Kron. I'm not touching MJ stocks. They're too volatile, and Kron's earnings was horrible. I mean, you could trade it, but I think it's going to be very volatile. I think it's going to be like up and down, up and down, up and down. I would probably touch it if there was a huge red day. I'd buy some, and then I would sell it if it pops back up. But I would rather option trade Kron than buy Kron like directly. I have my money for other stocks. And Kron's earnings are bad, in my opinion. $526 million for that quarter, $44 million of gross profit, gross margin is 8.4%, operational loss was $164 million, which is not horrible, I guess. Net loss was $166. Net loss attributed to Neo shareholders was $171 million. Basic diluted shares was 16 cents. Cash, $1.6 billion of cash as of June 30th. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for cash position. Vehicle sales of 3,486. Deliveries. $72 million shares at $5.95. Record high quarter deliveries of 10,331. 10,000 cars is not very much, but hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. No. Can't wait till Solo starts up their production. Oh, people watching me. I'm just gonna let him talk for a little while because he talks better than me. So I'm gonna play this. 4 minutes, so start. So I could play my video off his live stream instead of live streaming my live stream. I don't know.
Nukem Dukem. Yeah, that equals at Nukem Dukem. There you go. Don't forget, short sellers has to buy covers. Is Neo a heavy shorted stock? I don't think so, right? Is it more shorted than Tesla or Nikola? Short squeeze coming? Yeah, you guys think a short squeeze coming?
damn, I'm jealous. He's getting like so much money from his live streamers. $4.99, $15. Jesus. So short position. So short is $127 million. Oh, sorry, 127 million shares. As of July 15th. So there's still a pretty decent short position. It hasn't been updated, but I was hoping that Workhorse was gonna get a short squeeze. It didn't. Float. Their float was 65 million. They have about 19.66. But I heard that short interest increased to almost over 30%. So once this gets updated, which is in a few days, I think Workhorse is like way heavily shorted than Neo. So yeah, I don't know. I think Workhorse stock should go up because Neo went up massively, but Neo did good on the earnings. That's probably the reason why. See what people have to say on my channel. Good morning, I guess. Yeah. Okay, that's it. I got 8 people watching me. What's chat rate? What's chat rate? I don't know what chat rate is. Whatever. Yeah, kind of jealous he's getting free money. Bro, I hope we break 20 USD. Yeah, good luck. Like I said, I don't think any retail investor is going to be like buy these stocks at these prices. I think the only people that are really pushing the stocks up are bots and rich people. People have so much money that they don't know what to do with their money besides push up the stock. So yeah, you're basically gambling if it breaks 20 US dollars. You're gambling that somebody is willing to push this stock price up to $20 because at the end of the day, stocks are worth as much as an investor is willing to buy and buy. And I highly doubt retail investors a ton of retail investors gonna be like, ding, oh, buying opportunity, they did awesome on the earnings report, let's push this baby up to $20. It's just, I don't see that logic behind that. So that's just me though. Would I be buying this stocks? No, I'd buy call options. If I was gonna gamble, it's gonna go up to $20. I wouldn't buy the stock. That's just me though. $0.02 candy. Look, some MJ stocks. I bet you Canopy is down. Oh no, Canopy is low green. That's about Afria. Green, ACB, probably red. Yep, red. See Nikola. Nikola's a little red this morning. Plug. Green. Tesla, Tesla did awesome on the earnings report because of Bernie Sanders. There's a little pressure on the stock. Eight, 1.11 people were watching me now. Oh, 10 people now. Oh, it's starting. Well, I'm not really getting anything. Yeah, but you know how much money it takes to move up a stock, move up NEO $1? It takes 1 point something billion dollars. I don't think I don't think a ton of retail investors is gonna like, oh, I'm gonna buy it at $15. No, that's suicide. It's like saying you want to buy Aurora at $14. Yeah, some idiots might do that, but no. If you had Neo at like $2 at $3, yeah, you're laughing right now. But if you had Neo, if you're buying Neo at like $15 and you're retail invested with a small amount of money, that's just that's just not smart, in my opinion. So yeah, big money is the only thing that's pushing the stock up. Look at that outstanding share, 1.18 billion for a company that lost money. I mean, sure.
Q2 earnings call.
What? Why is it? Why am I not hearing anything? Why is he hearing something? What's going on? What's going on? No, I'll just leech off his live stream.
9.2，2020年7月，未来的交付量达到3533辆，为月度交付量的历史第二高。今年前7个月的交付量，相比于2019年同期增长了111.3%。从去年10月开始 ，ES6 连续蝉联中国电动 SUV 市场的销量冠军。今年上半年 ，ES8 也获得了中国40万以上中大型豪华电动 SUV 的销量冠军。
In the second quarter of 2020, NIO achieved the record quarterly deliveries of over 10,000 units and delivered an aggregate of 10,331 ES8s and ES6, representing a strong growth of 190.8% year-over-year and 169.2% quarter-over-quarter. In July 2020, NIO delivered 3,533 units, marking the second highest monthly delivery results. The cumulative deliveries in the first 7 months of 2020 increased by 111.3% over the same period of 2019. Starting from October 2019, ES6 has ranked as the top-selling SUV across all EV sectors in China. For the first half of this year, ES8 has also achieved number 1 in sales among mid to large size luxury electric SUVs priced above 400,000 RMB in China.
3季度，我们有信心季度交付量再创新高，达到11000到11500辆。
In the third quarter, we are confident to achieve a new quarterly record of 11,000 to 11,500 deliveries.
在毛利率方面，随着季度交付量的跃升，单车收入的提高，电池包等物料采购成本的下降，以及制造绩效的改善，我们的毛利率在第二季度取得重大突破，整车毛利率达到 9.7%， 综合毛利率达到 8.4%， 远高于此前 5% 与 3% 的预期。
As for the gross margin, with the strong momentum of quarterly deliveries, rise of average selling price, reduction of battery packs,
综合毛利率都将超过 10%。
We will continue to improve our gross margin and expect our vehicle margin and the gross margin to both exceed 10% in the second half of this year.
在毛利转正的基础上，公司的体系化效率全面提升。2020年第二季度的运营亏损进一步收窄至 11.6 亿元，同比下降 64%， 环比下降 26.1%。 交付量的大幅增长，直销加按订单生产的模式，以及来自于供应链合作伙伴的支持， 使得我们在2020年第二季度历史上首次实现了经营活动现金流转正。
With the gross margin turning positive and the operational efficiency improving comprehensively across the company, the operating loss of the second quarter has further narrowed to 1.16 billion RMB, representing a decrease of 64% year-over-year and a decrease of 26.1% quarter-over-quarter. The significant increase in deliveries and the direct sales model and the great support from supply chain partners have enabled us to achieve positive operating cash flow for the first time in our history.
今年的二季度对于未来来说是里程碑意义的一个季度，公司在交付量、毛利率、运营效率、现金流各方面都实现了突破。经过过去1年多的持续努力，我们已经找到合适的节奏，既能对公司近期的经营目标进行严格的管理与执行，也能保证研发和服务体系的投入，建立公司的长期竞争优势。
In the second quarter of 2020 is a milestone quarter for us. NIO has made significant breakthroughs in sales, gross margin, operational efficiency, and cash flow. After our enduring efforts in the past year, we have found our pace to implement efficient management and solid execution on near-term operational objectives, and meanwhile, to make decisive investments in R&D and services for our long-term competitive edges.
接下来我跟大家分享一下近期的重点工作。
Next, I would like to share with you our recent key priorities.
研发方面，随着公司总体情况的改善，我们已经加快了新产品的开发进度，并将加大在自动驾驶技术上的研发投入，以建立行业领先的技术优势，确保长期的产品竞争力。
With respect to R&D, as the company overall situation improves, we have accelerated the new product development and will increase our investment in the autonomous driving technology, so we can develop industry-leading technologies to maintain the long-term competitiveness of our products.
产品方面，蔚来智能电动轿跑 SUV EC6 已于7月24日正式上市，补贴前售价36.8万元起。EC6 受到了市场和用户的广泛认可，开启预定后的订单表现超出我们的预期。我们正在按计划推动 EC6 的量产工作，预计9月下旬开始交付。
In terms of a product, the EC6 our smart electric coupe SUV was officially launched on July 24 with a pre-subsidy price starting from 368,000 RMB. It has been very well received by the users and the market, and presented a stronger order performance above our expectations. The mass production of EC6 is proceeding well according to plan, and we will commence deliveries in late September.
产能方面，制造团队正在将合肥工厂的生产节拍从15 kph 提升至20 kph， 与此同时，也在协调供应链合作伙伴提升产能。我们将在8月底9月初达到单月单班4500到5000台的全供应链的产能。
As for production capacity, the manufacturing team is going to increase the production rate of the Hefei plant from 15 drops per hour to 20 drops per hour, while working together with supply chain partners to improve their capacity at the same time. By late August or early September, the overall supply chain capacity on a single shift is expected to reach 4,500 to 5,000 units per month.
销售服务网络方面，截至目前，我们已经有22个蔚来中心和119家蔚来空间，覆盖中国89个城市。蔚来换电站已建成142座，覆盖全国63个城市。接下来我们会持续增加蔚来空间和换电站的布局，以更好地服务用户。
Regarding sales and service network, we have opened 22 new houses and 119 new spaces in 89 cities. and 142 battery swap stations in 63 cities in China. Moving forward, we will further expand the coverage of the battery swap stations and new spaces to better serve our users.
与此同时 Battery as a Service 车电分离的创新业务模式取得重大进展。我们已经完成整车和电池分开销售所需要的产品公告和认证的全部工作。第一辆 BAS 模式的车辆也完成了保险、贷款、上牌等流程验证。这是未来技术与商业模式创新的一个重大突破。目前我们还在进行正式提供 BAS 模式服务的最后准备工作，将在3季度正式发布实施方案。随着用户、政府、行业越来越广泛的认可，相信我们可充、可换、可升级的产品与服务体系的竞争优势会逐渐显现。
In the meantime, we have also made profound progress with the innovative business model of battery as a service, namely decoupling the battery from the vehicle. We have completed the necessary product homologations and certifications required to be qualified to sell vehicles and batteries separately. The process of the first vehicle under the bus model has been validated, including insurance purchase, loan application, and license plate registration. This is a breakthrough moment in our technology and business innovations. Currently, we are still working on the final preparation for the official offering of our bus solution, which will be released publicly in the third quarter. Along with the increasing recognition from the users, governments, and industries, we believe the advantages of our chargeable, swappable, and upgradable products and the services system will become more self-evident.
随着越来越多的车交付给用户，我们的用户基础越来越大，未来的用户社区也越来越成熟。2020年的8月8日 Near Day 2020举办城市的申办工作完成了票选，4万多未来用户积极地参与了投票。经过激烈的角逐，成都从10个申办城市中脱颖而出，最终成为 Near Day 2020的举办城市。
As we deliver more and more vehicles, our user base is growing while the user community is maturing. On August 8, 2020, the New Day 2020 host city bidding campaign came to a conclusion. Over 40,000 new users actively participated in the voting. After fierce but friendly competition, Chengdu stood out among 10 cities and won the bid to host the New Day 2020.
未来的每一点进步都离不开用户的信任支持。今年的 Near Day 的申办再次体现了未来社区的活力与激情。
Every little bit of our progress will not be achieved without the trust and the support of our users. The bidding campaign of New Day 2020 has once again demonstrated the vibrancy and enthusiasm of the new community.
感谢用户和大家的支持。现在 Steven 将为大家介绍第2季度的财务业绩。有请 Steven。
I would like to thank our users and everyone for their support. With that, I will now turn the call over to Steven to provide the financial details for the quarter. Steven, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, William. I will now go over our key financial results for the second quarter of 2020. And to be mindful of the length of this call, I encourage listeners to refer to our earnings press release, which is posted online for additional details. Our total revenues in the second quarter were 3.72 billion RMB, or $526.4 million, representing an increase of 146.5% year-over-year, and an increase of 171.1% quarter-over-quarter. Our total revenues are made of two parts: vehicle sales and other sales. Vehicle sales in the second quarter were 3.49 billion RMB, or $493.4 million, accounting for 94% of total revenues in this quarter. It represented an increase of 146.5% year-over-year, and an increase of 177.6% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in vehicle sales year-over-year was primarily due to the increase of vehicle deliveries of the ES6, which began its first deliveries in late June 2019. Other sales in the second quarter were 232.8 million RMB, or $33 million, representing an increase of 147.7% year-over-year, an increase of 100% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in other sales year-over-year was mainly attributed to increased revenues derived from the service package and energy packages subscribed, home chargers installed, and accessories sold, which were in line with increased volume in the second quarter of 2020. Cost of sales in the second quarter was 3.41 billion RMB, or $482.1 million, representing an increase of 69.2% year-over-year, an increase of 121.2% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in cost of sales year-over-year was mainly driven by the increase of delivery volume in the second quarter of 2020. Gross profit in the second quarter of 2020 was 313.1 million RMB, or $44.3 million, representing an increase of 162.1% year-over-year, and an increase of 286.9% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in gross profit year-over-year was mainly contributed by increased vehicle sales and higher gross margin in the second quarter of 2020. Gross margin in the second quarter of 2020 was 8.4%, compared with negative 33.4% in the same quarter of 2019 and negative 12.2% in the first quarter of 2020. The increase of gross margin year-over-year was mainly driven by the increase of vehicle margin in the second quarter of 2020. More specifically, vehicle margin in the second quarter of 2020 was 9.7%, compared with negative 24.1% in the same quarter of 2019 and negative 7.4% in the first quarter of 2020. The increase of vehicle margin was mainly driven by the decrease in purchase price of certain materials and lower unit manufacturing cost attributed from increased production volume in the second quarter of 2020. Besides above, the increase of vehicle margin year-over-year was also attributable to the impact of one-off cost in relation to the company's voluntary battery recall in the second quarter of 2019. R&D expenses in the second quarter were 545.2 million RMB, or $77.2 million, representing a decrease of 58.1% year-over-year, an increase of 4.4% quarter-over-quarter. The decrease in R&D expenses year-over-year was primarily attributable to the incurrence of expenses relating to rigorous testing activities of ES6 in the second quarter of 2019 before its mass production. SG&A expenses in the second quarter were 936.8 million RMB, or $132.6 million, representing a decrease of 34.1% year-over-year, an increase of 10.4% quarter-over-quarter. The decrease in SG&A expenses year-over-year was primarily driven by the company's overall cost-saving efforts and the improved operating efficiency in marketing and other supporting functions. Loss for operations in the second quarter was 1.16 billion RMB, or $164.2 million, representing a decrease of 64% year-over-year and a decrease of 26.1% quarter-over-quarter. Share-based compensation expenses in the second quarter were 45.3 million RMB, or $6.4 million, representing a decrease of 50.9% year-over-year and increase of 39.8% quarter-over-quarter. The decrease in share-based compensation expenses year-over-year was primarily due to less options granted, driven by the decline in the number of employees and impact of part of the share-based compensation expenses being recognized by using the accelerated method, under which the expenses decrease gradually over the vesting period. Net loss in the second quarter was 1.18 billion RMB, or $166.5 million, representing a decrease of 64.2% year-over-year and a decrease net loss attributable to NIO's ordinary shareholders in the second quarter was 1.21 billion RMB, or $171 million, representing a decrease of 63.6% year-over-year and a decrease of 29.9% quarter-over-quarter. Basic and diluted net loss per ADS in the second quarter were both 1.15 RMB, or 16 cents per ADS. Excluding share-based compensation expenses and accretion on redeemable non-controlling interests to redemption value, non-GAAP adjusted basic and diluted net loss per ADS were both 1.08 RMB, or 15 cents per ADS in second quarter. Our balance of cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, and short-term investment was 11.17 billion RMB, or $1.58 billion as of June 30, 2020. And now for our business outlook. As William mentioned, for the third quarter of 2020, the company expects deliveries to be between 11,000 to 11,500 vehicles, representing an increase of approximately 129.2% to 139.6% from the same quarter of 2019, an increase of approximately 6.5% to 11.3% from the second quarter of 2020. The company also expects the total revenue of the third quarter 2020 to be between 4.05 to 4.21 billion RMB, or between $572.9 to $596.2 million. This would represent an increase of approximately 120.4% to 109.3% from the same quarter of 2019, an increase of approximately 8.8% to 13.3% from the second quarter of 2020. This business outlook reflects the company's current and the preliminary view on the business situation and market condition, which is subject to change. Now, this concludes our prepared remarks. I will now turn the call over to the operator to facilitate our Q&A session.
Certainly.
Operator.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir, certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press pound or hash key. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, please limit yourself to 2 questions, and if you have additional questions, you can re-enter the queue. Thank you. We have the first question from the line of Tim Hessel from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi, William, Stephen, Jade, and Ray. Congratulations on the strong results, and thanks for taking my questions. So, two quick questions. The first one, regarding second quarter's gross margin, because it came in as a strong beat versus previous guidance. I think in addition to the strong scale, because you just mentioned also attributable to the high average revenue per vehicle. So, could we have a rough idea what's the gross margin difference between like ES8 and ES6 at the moment? And could we expect ES6 margin to reach similar level as ES8 with additional contribution from EC6 later this year? And my second question is about R&D expenses. Because if you look at the state in the first half, I think the R&D expenses are under great control with around like 500 to 600 million per quarter, despite the model launch. So would this be the normalized level? Because as William mentioned about investment in new vehicle development and also the autonomous driving technology, so could we have the rough breakdowns about how many percentage of the R&D is now for the vehicle development and the rest like autonomous driving and other technology? Thank you.
Okay. This is Stanley. For the first question about the gross margin of ES8 and ES6, generally the gross margin of ES8 is higher than ES6, and we are trying to improve both the two models in the future, but we won't break down details of margins of each models. Okay.
谢谢。我回答一下第二个问题，就是研发的投入。总体上来说的话呢，我们现在今年就保证这个自己的这个研发的投入每年差不多是在30亿人民币以内啊，大体上是保证这么一个投入的量。当然这里面包括所有的，包括人员的工资，包括我们要和供应链的合作伙伴的一些 EDD 的费用啊，全部在内。总体来说的话呢，还是跟车相关的研发投入更高一些啊，跟车型直接相关的啊。那当然，刚才我也讲了 ，AD 方面投入我们会这个加大啊，这个已经在我们预计的这个整个的研发投入里边，我们现在已经有一个200多人的一个 AD 的 team 啊，本身它已经占据了一个常规的一个研发的费用。但是下一步的话呢，我们确确实实为了这下一代的自动驾驶的技术，我们会增加一些投入。所以总体上来说，常规的来讲的话呢，我们差不多是500到600个 million 的一个季度。当然，在有一些季度的话呢，我们会根据车型的这个开发的进度会有一些增加。
I would like to answer the second question regarding the R&D investment. Right now, we would like to control our R&D investment within 3 billion RMB every year, including the labor cost, the suppliers, EDD cost. In terms of the breakdown, of course, the percentage we invest for the vehicle-related R&D is higher, but just like I mentioned, we will increase our investment on the autonomous driving technology. Right now, we have already got a team around 200 people focusing on the autonomous driving technology development, which accounts a fixed part of the R&D cost. For the next generation autonomous driving technology, we are going to increase our investment, but at a normal pace, just like you mentioned, it should be around 500 million to 600 million for one quarter, but for some quarter, because of our product development cadence, we may need to increase this investment.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Bing Wang from Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
我有3个问题，我先中文讲一下哈。那第一个都是关于自动驾驶的。想问一下呢，我们曾经在这个 Deal 的 APP 上说呢，我们在今年可能会推出2个更高自动驾驶的，一个叫 NGP， 就是 Navigation Guide Pilot， 还有一个就是那个 SAMR 召唤。 想问问看呢，这个大概今年有没有可能会推出大概推出的时间呢？什么时候？这是第一个自动驾驶的问题。第二个呢，想问问看，目前呢未来呢是要交3万钱人民币才能够拿到一个自动驾驶的这个软件包想问问看这个的渗透率现在是多高？是100台车里面多少人会买这个39000块？以及这个趋势的变化是怎么样的？这是第二个问题。第三个问题呢，我们都知道未来在下一代，据新闻说会跟 Mobileye 的 Q5 做第4级自动驾驶。那么想问问看，我们第4级自动驾驶会在什么时候？因为这个新闻说在2022年，就想问一下最新的一个时间表。我再翻一下我的这个问题Actually, I got 3 questions about autonomous. Questions number 1 about the launch timing of their 2 features. One is the NGP, navigation guide pilots, and second about their summer features. When will be launched? Because they have been shown in their new apps will maybe come up this year. So I just want to know the exact timing. The second thing is about penetration, because you want to get such a feature, you will pay additional 39,000 RMB as a package. So what's the penetration right now, and what's the ratio has been moving in the past few months or quarter? And the third one is that for the next generation autonomous, which is level 4, according to the media, partner with the Mobileye on the EQ5 on the chips. So what's the timing for the launch of the level 4? Thank you.
王斌，我们 NOP 的这个功能的话呢，我们是在今年内会这个我们还在加紧测试，在今年内会交付给这个用户。当然，这个召唤的功能呢，这个我们实际上这个召唤的功能应该说因为硬件的这个限制，我们还是没有像 Tesla 那么样有竞争力但我们召唤主要还是一个进出车位的狭窄车位的这么一个功能。我不想误导这个Tesla 的那个是达不到 Tesla 的现在那个水准的我们的召唤的功能但我们 NOP 的话呢最近的测试各方面的表现，我们结合高精地图表现还是非常不错的那我们也在加紧测试，近期会这个今年内肯定会交付给用户。
Thanks for your question. Regarding the Navigate on Pallet feature, we're now doing rigorous tests on this feature and we plan to release this within 2020. However, regarding the nearby summoning feature, because of the hardware constraints, our feature is not as competitive as Tesla's nearby summoning because our feature can only support getting out and in the parking space. So I don't want to mislead the users. But together with the HD map, we believe our Navigate on Pallet can achieve a very good performance.
那第二个问题就是我们的这个Near Pilot 的这个渗透率，因为我们最早的一批创始版这个都是最早的1万辆都是 100% 的是含这个功能的，所以这个对我们总体的这个渗透率肯定是有一个比较大的提升的。那当然现在的话，正常的销售的情况下，差不多是在20%到30%左右，就25%左右目前差不多是这样的一个比例。当然我们今天也推出了一个小的这个1万多人民币的这么一个小的套装，就是含这个是比较入门级的这样一些功能。那么这个的话呢，比例还是不错的。
Regarding the second question for the take rate of the Navigate on Pallet, we have the Founders Edition, which account for around 10,000 units. This Founders Edition has the NOP as a standard feature, so this is quite helpful with the take rate of our speaking. But normally speaking, the take rate for the NOP right now is around
NOP, New Pilot.
Right now, for the take rate of the New Pallet is around 25%. This year, we have released a selected New Pallet, which priced around 10,000 RMB, which has enjoyed a much better take rate.
那第三个就关于我们的这个下一代的 AD 的这个开发我们叫 NT2 的这个开发 Near Technology 2的这个开发我们正在加紧进行。当然具体的技术路线我们今天还太早去说但我能说的是我们设定了一个非常高的标准我们相信 在量产车上边，我们的这个AD 的技术应该说是这个非常领先的。实际上如果大家去看我们在 AD 方面的执行力，我们在18年交付 ES8 的时候，我们是全世界第一个搭载 Mobile IQ4 的芯片的。那其实同行大概比我们要晚1年左右。所以如果去看我们在量产 ADAS 和 AD 方面的这个能力的话，我们公司的这方面的这个量产的经验和整个 AD 系统的这个开发的能力，应该是有个非常已经是被成功的证明了的。所以下一代的这个自动驾驶的技术，我们肯定是设定了一个更高的标准，也合适的时候我们会跟大家披露。
For the next generation autonomous driving technology or our new technology platform 2.0, right now we are speeding up our development pace for this new technology platform, but it's still too early to share any specific information regarding the technology roadmap. All I can say right now is we set very high bar for ourselves for this next generation platform. And we have been working on the autonomous driving technology development. In 2018, when we released the ES8, we are the first car to be equipped with the Mobile IQ4 chipset. Other competitors, they launched the car with the IQ4 chipset around 1 year later. So it shows we have much more experience in terms of the mass production and autonomous driving. Our experience in this regard has been tested and verified. So for the next generation platform, we would like to set a much higher standard for ourselves, and we will keep you guys updated at a timely manner.
另外我想说一下，我们不会用Level 3、Level 4这样的角度，这样的去定义我们的这个 AD 的技术。我们更看重2点对用户带来的这个利益啊。一个的话呢是到底能解放用户在车上多少时间啊，这是一个我们非常看重的一点。另外一个的话呢，就是和与人驾驶相比，能减少多少这个事故的这个概率啊。这2点是我们评估我们 AD 技术2个非常核心的指标啊。那这个和现在这个通行的定义的 Level 3、Level 4的这个逻辑还是有很大的区别。
But here I would like to emphasize that we don't actually use the Level 3 or Level 4 to define our AD technologies. We use 2 different criteria from the user's interest perspective. The first one is we focus on how much time we can free up for our users, and the second criteria is how many accidents we can reduce compared with the human driver. We believe that these 2 criteria are more important than the definition of a Level 3 and Level 4.
好，谢谢王斌。
Thank you for the question.
我能再加个问题吗？ Can I have another follow up?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, thank you. Actually, from the website say that NIO may go to Germany later this year. So just want to know your globalization plan or just limited to China. What's your future plan for the overseas expansion? Thank you.
我们现在当然这个 NIO 从创办开始跟别的中国的公司不太一样，我们就是一个 global startup。大家知道，即使在去年我们最艰难的时候，我们也仍然保证了我们在德国、在英国和在硅谷的办公室的这个正常运营。那今年当然这个疫情呢，也并没有影响到我们一个全球的这个业务的开展。我们事实上确确实实已经在进行非常细致的海外市场的这个前期的研究和准备的工作这个当然包括产品的准备，包括团队的准备包括这个市场进入的详细的计划。但是我能说的是，今年因为大家也知道众所周知的原因，肯定不是一个合适的 timing 但是我们正在仔细的准备这些事情那当然也不少海外的媒体，这个中国以外的媒体非常关注我们的产品其实我们最近看到欧洲一些非常知名的汽车媒体，包括美国的一些汽车媒体，那么在测试了我们的车以后，应该说给予的评价都还是非常的高的那我们在 step by step 的建立我们这样一个全球市场的一个拓展的能力也希望保持一点耐心这个今年 全世界的这个情况确实都不是那么的正常，但是我们的准备工作肯定是要进行的充分的。
From day one, NIO is different from other companies. So we are a global startup. So we have kept our normal operation in the San Jose and German office, even despite the most difficult times in last year. Even with the COVID-19, we still operate normally in the overseas office. So we are now doing the preliminary research regarding the international market entry, including the product preparation, team building, and also the market entry planning. But this year, I believe everyone understands it's not a very good year for us to enter the international market. We understand many overseas media pay great attention to our product. After the renowned European and the US media tested our vehicle, they also speak very highly of our vehicle. So we would like to do this step by step and build up our capabilities to enter the global market. So I would like to ask for your patience.
Thank you so much, and congratulations for the great result. Thank you.
Thank you. 谢谢王斌。
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Lei Wang from CICC. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, William and Stephen. This is Wang Lei speaking from CICC. Congratulations on the positive cash flow and better than expected gross margin. That's for sure a great move. I have 3 questions on the financials. So the first question goes with the gross margin. I know William just guided the GPM above 10% by end of this year. But considering we just have hit it at 9.7% vehicle gross margins by second quarter already, can we have an updated gross margin target if you have any? That's the first question.
Okay. Hi, Wally. I would like to answer the first question. Generally in the Q3 and Q4, we expect the vehicle average selling price remains relatively stable, and for the battery pack cost, we foresee there will still some room for us to further reduce its cost. And together with other cost savings for the BOM, I think generally the 10% over 10% target for vehicle margin and the overall margin can be achieved. But as you mentioned, whether we want to further increase our targets for the gross margin, I don't think we want to do this at this moment. I think we still keep the guidance of over double digits in the second half. Yeah.
对，就是我们现在当然我们还是能看到我们毛利率持续提升的这种空间我们在按照自己的节奏在往前走那从各方面来讲的话呢我们都还是有改善的这个机会的所以当然这个你们也知道我们这个给这方面的指引总是这个我们现在这个就像我们上个季度一样我们现在肯定是愿意用谨慎一些的角度去看这件事情。
Of course, we understand that there are still room for improvement in terms of the gross margin and many other aspects, but we would like to move forward according to our own pace. Just like the last quarter, we would like to keep a more conservative attitude regarding those targets.
All right. Thanks, William. Thanks, Jeff. So the second question goes with the operating cash flow. I think that's primarily driven by optimized working capital, and I wanted to see if you or Stephen could kindly provide a breakdown.
Hi, Wally. This is Danny. Regarding the positive cash flow, generally there are the following reasons which drive the positive cash flow. The first is operating loss. We control it at a relatively lower level. And second, as you mentioned, we renegotiate the credit term and also the payment methods with our suppliers. And for example, we ask the supplier to extend the credit term from 60 days to 90 days, and also ask them to accept the back notes instead of cash for the payment of the purchase. So the third one, as William mentioned, the direct sales model and also the leading make us to receive the cash collections earlier than the payment to the suppliers. So generally, all these reasons drive us to achieve the positive cash flow in Q2. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Stanley. I think the payment terms is a very positive signal, as the supplier already has some confidence on you. That's a pretty good example. So the third question and the last question, William mentioned a monthly production capacity of between 4.5K to 5K units, and as Stephen just guided, roughly 11,000 unit car deliveries in next quarter. And why do we see a gap between the production capacity and the sales outlook?
This is Stephen. First, we increase our production capacity at end of August. And for any plant which tries to increase its production capacity, there is a ramp-up period. Okay, so our production capacity in July and August is still below 4,000 units. And that is a constraint for our delivery in Q3. And why do we increase our production capacity to 4,500 to 5,000? That's because that's the preparation for our Q4 delivery.
对，我补充一下，就是我们这个在我们提升这个产能是确确实实是我们现在 demand 还是非常强劲的。如果去看我们 ES8 的话，我们现在这个我最近又经常要接到一些这个朋友说能不能把我的车加快一点呢？这个确实有很多用户要等比较长的时间才能提到 ES8。事实上这个已经有不少的订单的积压。当然另外我们看到 EC6 它的这个我们在9月下旬开始交付，它的这个爬产也需要一些时间，所以在 Q4 的话呢，就是 EC6 的话呢会这个产能主要是要在 Q4 的话，前面的订单要垒到那边的话，这个 Q4 的这个交付的压力还是比较大的。所以总体上来说的话呢，我们在Q3 就是8月底9月初把全供应链的产能准备好，这个主要还是为了 EC6 的爬产，还有就是我们 Q4 的预计的这样一个更好的满足这个 demand 去做这个准备。
We want to improve the production capacity is because of the strong demand in the market. Many of my friends have asked me to check whether it's possible to have their ES8 delivered early. So there's a very big ES8 order backlog right now. As I mentioned, the ES6 delivery will commence at late September this year, so we also need some time to ramp up the production of the EC6 in the plant. Before we start the delivery of the EC6, we will start to accumulate orders for the EC6. So it means that in the fourth quarter of this year, we're going to witness the significant pressure on our delivery and production. That's why we would like to increase our production capacity at the end of August. Then we can be fully prepared for the EC6 ramp up and the Q4 delivery.
All right. Thanks, William. Thanks, Stephen. That's all my questions. We're finishing results. 谢谢. Thank you.
谢谢王雷 Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Mason Lee from Buffer. Please go ahead.
Thank you, William, Stephen, and the management. Congrats for the good result. Good question. So the first question is that I think the market seems does not understand too much on the battery as a service. So probably I think probably you can take this opportunity to give a more explanation on the business. First of all, I want to know that right now how much of a battery asset on your book, and once you set up a new battery management asset management company, around how much assets you can reduce from your balance sheet. This can use your pressure on balance sheet going forward. And also the second question is that once the BAS business model is confirmed, then I believe you can start to offer the auto finance program for both the vehicle as well as the battery. So I think that the down payment for consumers will be much lower compared to the current status. So how much more new demand do you think you can create through the battery as a service? Right. So that's my first question. Thank you, William, and the management team.
好，谢谢。打开了吧？确实，这个 battery as service 是一个创新的这个商业模式，这个其实走通这个是非常不容易的。我在这个前面的也讲到了，我们已经这个获得了政府所有的批准我们的第一辆就是不带电池可以出售的车，已经完成了所有的像保险这个贷款还有这个上牌的所有的流程。那简单来讲 ，battery as a service 可以就是说，就买车租电池就简单来讲，就这个概念，就是你的车架里面可以不包含这个电池这样的话呢，我们以前虽然也推这样的一些服务，但是更多的受政策的一些约束我们其实更多的是一个这个金融的类金融的方案。但是我们这个政府的这个批准了以后呢，我们这个产品这样的一个公告批准了以后，现在就真正的用户的话呢，就可以是租用这个电池的方案。那和以前你先翻译。
Thanks for your question. Battery as a service is a very innovative business model, and it's quite difficult to validate this process. Just like I mentioned in my previous prepared remarks, we have now got the government approval, and the first vehicle without the battery has already finished the validation process regarding the insurance purchase, loan application, and the license plate registration. Basically, it means that you buy the car without the battery, and it means that when you pay for the car, you do not need to pay the cost of the battery. Previously, we tried to launch similar plans, but because of the restrictions with the government policy, we didn't fully implement the real battery as a service business model. But now, since we have already got the support from the government and the related policies, we believe it's the right time for us to do this.
那区别是什么呢？就是我们现在事实上用户也可以采用一个对电池分期的这么一个方式就是说去购买这个车辆。但是如果他比如说我们今天的这个NIO 的用户，如果他选择少付10万，然后每个月付多少，他就不能以今天的这个角度来讲，他就不能再去贷款了。那也就是说，比如说我们这个现在的一个服务，我们35万8的 ES6， 那他可以付25万8，另外的10万他可以按每个月来付的话，那25万8的部分他就不能贷款了。那这个主要是受一些政策的限制。那么 Battery as a Service 这个服务推出来之后，根据新的这个汽车产品的这样的一个这个公告的这样的一些政策的话，那它就真正可以按照就像同样的来比吧，它就可以对于这个前面的部分它可以用贷款，后边的这个它就真正可以用按月来租用的模式，这个能够大大的降低用户的这个购买的这个门槛，不管是首付还是月供，和这个原来相比的话呢，都要少很多那么这个对于在不影响我们的毛利率，甚至于改善我们的毛利率的情况下，那我们还能够给用户一个更低的这样的一个首付和这个月还款的一个金额。那这个对于把我们的产品卖给更多的用户，应该说是有非常大的好处。
I would like to explain a little bit about the difference. Right now, if the user wants to do the financing for the battery, then it means that at the beginning of the vehicle purchase, they can pay less money, that is around 100,000 RMB less. Then they will have the monthly payment, but for that monthly payment, they cannot get the loan. So it means that we can use the ES6 as an example. The price is around 358,000. Then it means that the users can pay 258,000 at the beginning, but for this they cannot get the loan from the bank because of the government policy restrictions. But if we can go with the BAS solution, then it means that with the new product homologation policy and the certification policy, the users can have less payment at the beginning, but they can still enjoy the loan for their monthly payment, which, just like you mentioned, should be able to lower the down payment as well as the monthly payment for the users. We believe that this is not going to affect our gross margin, or probably is even going to help us with the gross margin. But with this solution, we should be able to help the users to lower their down payment and the monthly payment, and we believe that this is going to be a very good boost to our vehicle sales.
当然，具体的价格方案就像我前面说的，3季度我们会正式的发布，正在进行最后的商务准备的工作。那其中很重要的一个环节就是我们正在筹建这个电池资产的公司啊。那当然这个是我们是其中的一个发起的股东，但是我们不是这个占多数的股份，不会影响到我们的这个资产负债表啊。那么这个电池资产公司的筹建也比较顺利啊。那我们预计8月份会完成这个电池资产公司的设立。这个电池资产公司会去持有这个资产啊，那么由它来租给这个用户啊，那么这样的话也能够把更多的这个对这个领域有兴趣的这样的一些这个有资金的公司会引入到这个领域里面来。我们认为这个会建立起一个良性的循环，这个对于整个这个行业来说是一个巨大的改变。
Just like I mentioned before, we will release the detail in the third quarter. We're now at the final commercial preparation stage. A very important task for us is to prepare the setup of the battery asset management company. We are one party out of this endeavor, but we're not the main stakeholder, so it means it's not going to affect our balance sheet. But we would like to set up this company around August. This asset company is going to own the battery assets and then lease it to the users. We believe that this is going to be a very innovative move for the whole industry and attract more parties to join this asset management company and build a virtuous cycle.
谢谢。
Thank you, William. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ming.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Paul Gong from UBS. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for taking my question. I have two questions. I remember at the early stage of NIO, it has planned the ET7 as a sedan as well as a new plant, but they get either delayed or cancelled last year. But nowadays, since you have received a lot of refinancing and has a much stronger balance sheet than last year, will you consider to build the second plant by yourself, and will you consider launch the ET7 at certain time, or would the first model be a different model? Can you give us a little bit color on the next model coming in the NIO Day later this year?
谢谢。这个我们确确实实这个我们虽然保持了每年发布一款新车的传统，但是我们确确实实这个去年我们在上海车展的这个 ET Preview 这个以后，大家都非常关注我们的轿车的这个研发。那我今天当然可以 可以说我们下一款产品肯定是轿车，当然具体是什么样的轿车，这个也还是希望大家期待一下。
Thanks for your question. We have kept our cadence of launching one new product every year. After we released the ET preview in the Shanghai Auto Show, we have attracted great attention from the market and the users. People are looking forward to our sedan product development. What we can say now is the next product will be a sedan, but I would like to ask for your patience.
那在我们整个的这个产品开发的这个计划里边，我们当然对将来的几年的产品的开发已经进行了非常完整的一个详细的一个规划。我们肯定在某个时间是需要这个第二工厂的。当然我们现在也看到我们和 JAC 的这个合作也非常的成功，我们生产的车的质量，那么在各种评比里面都是在第一名啊。所以我们对我们和 JAC 的这个合作是非常有信心的。当然我们后续的这个工厂的这个产能，我们现在的这个工厂的产能仍然有可以提升的空间啊。那我们并不是要特别着急的马上去开始这个第二工厂，但是我们关于第二工厂的这个规划工作，根据我们的产品开发的进度已经在规划中啊。那当然是不是自建，我觉得这个不是必须的啊，我们只要有足够的产能保证我们的产品的生产就可以了啊。现在来看的话呢，我们在为我们2022年量产的产品在准备我们的这个更多的产能吧。
We have a very comprehensive and detailed planning for our product development for the coming years. In the future, we see there is a need for the second plant, but right now we have a very successful cooperation with the JAC. The product that we manufactured together with the JAC has ranked at the top in many quality assessments conducted by the third parties. I'm very confident with our cooperation with the JAC, and we do have room for improvement for the production capacity in our current plant. So we do not have an immediate need to kick off the second factory, but we are now working on the planning of the second factory because of our product development cadence. We don't need to say that we will build this plant by ourselves. So what we need from the company's perspective is to make sure we have a sufficient capacity to support our product development and deliveries. We're now preparing the sufficient capacity for the product that we're going to launch in 2022.
另外我补充一下，就是我们现有的和江淮合作的这个工厂，在不需要增加太多的投资的情况下，是可以做到双班年产15万辆的啊，在我们现在的这个工厂，不需要增加太多投资，双班可以到15万辆。
Another point is about the current new JAC plant. Without significant investment, we should be able to increase the production capacity of our current plant to 150,000 units under 2 shifts.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
谢谢 Paul.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Alex Potter from Piper Sandler. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks very much. I had one question on selling regulatory credits. You've probably seen that Tesla gets a fair amount of revenue, several $100 million a quarter, from selling regulatory credit to non-compliant auto brands, primarily in Europe. And I know that China is considering a similar credit trading system. And I'm wondering if you are having discussions with any foreign auto brands or other auto brands to prepare to sell those automotive credits in the future in China? That's my first question.
好，谢谢。确实今年这个中国推行的这个双积分的这个政策，就 NEV 的积分和这个 CFAC 的这个积分， 应该讲这个确确实实今年涨价还是涨得不错的啊。
Thanks for your question. This year, the Chinese government launched the NEV and the CAF.
以前 launch 了，但是今年的价格涨了，不是今年 launch。
Okay.
今年涨。
Thanks for your question. This year, the government has updated their policy of the NEV and the CAFC credit, which they have launched in the past, which has helped us to increase the value of the credit we're now on our hands.
那我们去年产生了这个根据这个算法，我们去年一共产生了10万个双积分。到目前为止的话呢，这按照今年的一个价格来看的话呢，这个我们大概能产生1.2亿元左右的这样的一个收入啊，这是去年的积分。那么今年我们可以出售，我们大概可以如果出售按照现在的市价，差不多有1.2亿元。那么我们在 Q3、Q4 那这个部分的话呢，我们已经跟一些汽车厂商在谈那么我们在 Q3、Q4 会把这一部分出售掉，当然这一部分会改善我们的这个综合毛利率，我们不像 Tesla 一样是把它算在这个整车的毛利率里面，我们会放到这个我们的综合的这个毛利里边。
So we have accumulated around 100,000 dual credits last year. According to the current pricing in the market, we should be able to generate 120 million RMB for the revenue of the credit. We're now talking to some OEMs. We plan to sell those credits in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. We believe this is going to help us with the gross margin improvement. Different from Tesla, we're not going to account this as a part of the vehicle margin. We're going to consider this as part of the gross margin.
今年我们大体上会产生20万个积分，那么这部分积分的话呢，我们会在明年进行这个销售。我们预计的话，这个积分的价格还会进一步上涨，当然具体到底是多少，这个要取决于这个供需的关系。但是我能说的是，在中国。那么积分的这个市场它已经是有意义了，这个和去年是完全不一样的。那么政府的这个方向也是希望通过积分去鼓励这个大家生产这个电动汽车，那么取代这个补贴的作用那么从这一点来讲的话如果去看的话呢，我觉得我们如果按去年去看的话，我们1.2亿。去年是2万辆车，我们基本上每辆车给我们产生了6000块钱左右的收入。如果积分的这个价格进一步上升的话，这一部分对于改善我们的总体毛利是非常有意义的。
This year, we believe we are going to accumulate around 200,000 credits, which will be sold next year with a increased pricing. Of course, the pricing will depend on the demand and the supply in the market, but we believe this is the future direction because the Chinese government would like to make sure they can use the credit to replace the subsidy and encourage OEMs to produce EVs. And we believe that there will be a very big market for the credit trading between different OEMs. Last year, with 20,000 units, we have achieved 120 million RMB revenue, which means that for each vehicle, it can generate 60,000 RMB revenue. With increased pricing, we believe this is going to benefit of a gross margin in the long term.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's very interesting. I'll pass it on.
Thank you. As there are no further questions, I would like to hand the call back to our presenters for any closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us today. If you have any further questions, just contact NIO's IR team through the contact information provided on our website. This concludes the conference call. You may now disconnect the line. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next
Thank you.
quarter.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm extremely tired right now. Thank you for the 9 people that are watching me. As for NEO stock, well, I don't know what it's gonna do. I mean, it's broken its 52-week high of 1498, I believe. Let's just look where the 52-week high is. 52-week high is 1644. So nope, it actually never broke its 52-week high. Blue skies for NEO coming, maybe. We'll see what how much investors are willing to push up NEO stock after these earnings. I mean, it wasn't bad, but will investors push this thing past this 52-week high and blue sky breakout? I don't know. Right now, Tesla is under pressure. So if Tesla's under pressure, I think that's going to put NEO under pressure a little bit. But that's my opinion. We'll see what big money does with NEO. See if they push it up past 52-week high. But anyways, I'm going back to bed. I'm freaking tired right now. I prefer to invest into Workhorse. It's less riskier than NEO. I don't know. This is my opinion. Arcomotive's up 12 cents. I definitely like Diamond Peak Holdings. This is one I'm camping. Solo, I'm also going to buy some more if Solo goes back down to 250. This is my opinion. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe for future updates.